This is a support video to help you through the practice paper, option 2, Germany 1918 to 1939. This was last year's paper from June 2014. It's out of 54, so you've got to work pretty quickly through each question within an hour and 15 minutes. Let's break the questions down. 4-mark question. Let's spend no longer than 5 minutes on this question. If you're going to start it first and not start with a bigger question at the end. Personally, I would start with a 16-mark question and work back through the paper to secure most marks. This question is asking you to show that you understand the source, that you comprehend it, and that you can draw inferences from the source and support your inferences with detail from the source, i.e., do you understand the source? What can you learn from source A about the reasons for the failure of the Spartacist uprising of January 1919? An inference is a judgment that can be made from studying the source, but is not directly stated by the source. So what can you deduce from the source? You're looking for 2 supported inferences, and then you support using detail from the source. So for example, you could say you can learn that the Spartacists were beaten because the Freikorps were too strong. It also tells me that the Spartacist uprising was not well planned. If they had planned better, they would have known that they were not strong enough, and they wouldn't have seen all the buildings retaken. Another inference would be that the volunteer force, the Freikorps of 4,000 soldiers, defeated the Spartacist uprising because of their hatred for communists, and that these men were willing to murder the 2 leaders and put down this rebellion because they didn't want to see the rise of communism. You can deduce that from the source. It's almost like thinking about P paragraphs. Make your point, what you can infer from the source, and then evidence and explain it through adding some explanation linked to the source. I hope those 2 examples have helped you there. Let's move on. Here's an example of the mark scheme to help you, and a level 3 would equate to 4 marks out of 4. We're all aiming for that. Let's go for 2 strong paragraphs to secure those 4 marks, making 2 well supported inferences from the text, the source. Remember to keep pausing this video so as you can take in what I'm saying and then already rehearse in your head how you would answer the question. One thing I always recommend is when you read the question, and this question is describe the economic, i.e. financial, economy or money problems Germany experienced in the years 1919 to 1922. 6 marks. So you've got to describe the economic problems that Germany were going through post-war through the Treaty of Versailles all the way up to 1922. 6 marks. So we're looking for 3 problems that are developed. Remember to think P. Make your point, then evidence and explain it. Try and link it to the next paragraph. So we're looking for 3 solid paragraphs, a page of writing to secure a level 3, 6 out of 6. But note, it says 1922 here. We're not looking at 1923. We don't want to really start going into detail about hyperinflation and the events of the occupation of the Ruhr by the French and Belgian troops. We're looking at the early economic problems. Now let's try and outline those early economic problems. The first problem I would outline is that after the war, the biggest problem faced by Germany was that it was bankrupt. The Weimar Republic had no money. Its reserves of gold had all been spent on the war effort. The Treaty of Versailles made things even worse. So whilst dealing with the harsh terms of the treaty, the German government, the new Weimar Republic, were already bankrupt. That's the first point. The second point that I would develop would be Germany had to pay very, very harsh reparations. This was a fixed amount of money to be paid in compensation to the victorious Allies. $6,600 million, and Germany was unable to afford this. So the economy was struggling right from the early formation of the Weimar Republic, 1919 to 1922. The third issue, which I would link onto this paragraph as part of the explanation, is that Germany had lost much land, coalfields in Silesia, farmland, rich arable farmland in Posen, Alsace and Lorraine was given back to France. There are other pieces of land that you can describe, but the point I'm making is a lot of its economic power and industry and wealth generating areas were taken away from Germany and given to other victorious nations or nations who demanded compensation. So how could Germany pay the reparations that were being demanded of them? With no money coming in from taxation or industry, oil fields, coal fields, for example, this had led to Germany's severe economic problems. We're looking to write 2 really developed statements supported by explanation, and that should gain you 6 marks. If you write 3, you're guaranteed to get 6 marks. Finally, you could end by saying the return of soldiers to Germany meant unemployment was sky high. German industry had broken down because of the post-war aftermath in Germany, and therefore there was high unemployment and many people were living in economic hardship. Many middle class people and pensioners were about to suffer through hyperinflation, 1923. But I'm going to stop there because the date actually says 1919 to 22. The next question is question 1C, which is on the next video. I hope you look at it. Thank you.